Prince Magnum channel. I'm your host, Prince Magnum. Welcome once again to In Your Face. We're going to talk today about more questions and more comments that have poured in from you, the Maverick Nation. Wow. The questions and comments, I'm having a hard time putting it all to words. This is like take 4, I believe, now. So we're going to do our very best and talk about it.
Excuse me while I whip this out.
All right. Let's start off with the first comment, which comes from Amanda from Farmington Sonic. She writes in and says, "Your Sonic family loves you too. Thank you for being a great customer and friend." Thank you all to Farmington Sonic for making it easy to be a good friend and a good customer. Thank you all from the bottom of my heart that all of you, even though I don't work with you guys, that you have accepted me as one of your friends. Thank you so much. I can't thank you all enough because many of you there are subscribers. And after that video where I was able to stand up for you guys and kind of put you over too, you know, it's given me a good soft spot. You know, it's a long story. We'll talk about it in a very up-and-coming episode of In Your Face, where we're going to take a look into some things in my past. So we'll leave it at that. I'll leave it all as a surprise to all of you. All right, moving on. This is one of those moments that basically, since I've worked with some of these people, they just tell me, so they didn't actually have to write in, you know, so, and I love it when that happens too. Let's see. A few of my co-workers and friends from McDonald's writes, "The video, Surviving Romance, a Husband's Worst Nightmare. Why wasn't it called Off the Chain? Watch me get this bitch out of this ditch." Okay, guys. As much fun as it is to pick on a coworker and tease them and everything like that, at some point, I mean, you know, we've all picked on Jen about this. I've even had my few, you know, where I got a few jabs in there for fun. You know, like one day I was teasing her and said that her favorite dish around supper is fishtails and donuts, you know, making jokes about her driving. And then, of course, you know, when she gave me that dirty look, I said, "What, are you going to dent my forehead?" And of course, we all had a good laugh at that. And you know, at some point, you know, I know Jen is a tough woman, you know, but at some point, I think it's starting to go a little too far. And as much fun as I think it would be to do that video, I can't bring myself, you know, basically, I can't kick a friend while they're down. And I won't do that because I know at some point we need to take it easy on her. I mean, she has to put up with guys like me all the time.
Holy dog shit!
And just adding to it, I just can't do that. At some point, I gotta say, I'm gonna knock off. Whatever you guys do, that's your business. I just can't bring myself to do that again. All right, you know, Off the Chain is supposed to be comical, and I know it would be comical, but I can't do that. I won't kick a friend while they're down. You know, that's just the way it is. All right. Moving on, Cadillac Kid, my buddy Cadillac Kid, all the way to Halifax, Nova Scotia. Hey, buddy. All right, he put a big comment on where I was the video first time I was using the Spirit Cam and catching all the bad drivers. He talked about the safety of old cars versus new cars, and he talked about how the old cars, if you're in a crash, yeah, you're safe, but there's an excellent chance that you could get bounced around in there, end up with head injuries and things like that. And he's right. Um, Cars like Project Spirit are designed to take a good hard impact. They're designed to take a good beating. Now, when you compare an old car to a new car today, if my old car hits a new car, I won't hardly feel it. I'm going to have to hit something like a guardrail, a tree, something big and heavy that won't give. And in that case, my life is seriously in danger, because I can suffer severe head trauma. You know, most people don't realize the roofs on those cars, you give enough weight, they will collapse in on you. So something like a large tree or even an 18-wheeler or whatever is detrimental to my health. Also, the vehicles we see today are a product of, over time, the crumple zone technology has gotten ridiculous. Initially, when it started out in, guess what, 1975, it was new technology. Around that time, car companies started experimenting with stuff that you would see on the racetrack. And the design for crumple zone technology is to collapse, some of the vehicle would collapse, dispersing that energy. Now, over time, it has gotten ridiculous. Frames are so easy to give, and things like that. And it was designed that any impact 15 miles an hour above, some of the energy would be dispersed. But it's by today it is severely flawed compared to what initially was. And the first vehicle to get it in 1975 was, if I remember correctly, the Corvette. And it was designed to crumple a little bit and save you from getting whiplash, because that was actually commonplace. Head and neck injuries were commonplace back in the old days. By the 1980s, this technology was great, but by the 90s had become lethal to people. And by today, I have seen one video that's out there where kids were taking safety scissors, you know, like you would see in kindergarten classes, and cutting body panels to vehicles. So if I was in an accident with Project Spirit and the accident was against something like a concrete barrier or something like that, yes, I would be in very serious danger of a head and neck injury, one that could legitimately kill me. However, if it did, they would spray off Project Spirit and can use her again. But on the other hand, vehicles today are just complete death traps compared to what they used to be. They're just not very functional vehicles today. If Project Spirit was to make contact with another vehicle today, the people inside the new vehicle would most likely either A, be put in a wheelchair for the rest of their lives, or B, they would be killed. Okay? So, middle of the ground, find something from about 1976 to, I'm going to say, about 1987, and you're pretty safe in those vehicles as far as safety features go. Side note on that, Project Spirit's 3-point seatbelt harnesses, her seatbelts, her 3-point, are designed that whenever you click them in place, you go to lean forward, and it'll only let you move just a few inches. This is why you get a lot of whiplash injuries in old cars and severe back injuries. I've had several over the years, but a few of them have come from people rear-ending me, and that's why that is. Also, if you look at the lap belts in the back, and this is commonplace with the old cars, you go to pull them over. If you don't get them all the way over to put them in place, you'll get so far you can't move them. So it's just something to think about. That's why head, neck, and back injuries are so severe in the old cars. It's just because they were just built really hard. Another side note, and I don't normally give this information, but all old cars, and including new cars, all have 2 soft points, especially in the old cars. They have 2 soft points, and they're on the back end of the car, and they're right at the corners of the trunk. if you connect with those, if someone was to connect with those new or old vehicles, hit that spot, you can actually shear the body panel right up the side, and making the vehicle next to impossible to repair. And because of the weight of the newer vehicles, because new vehicles are extremely heavy. You don't realize that. The bodies are light, but the vehicles themselves are heavy. When they get onto the frame like that, oftentimes the frames will twist, and a lot of that's also just simply because the frames weren't designed to hold that kind of weight, for one, and two, the cars are old. They're not in the shape they once were when they left the factory, so you're actually asking those frames, after years of wear and tear, and to support a vehicle that's way too heavy for that frame to hold. So something most people don't know about. Normally I don't give that information, but I won't have to worry with Project Spirit because her back bumper protrudes just a little bit. So most vehicles sitting lower than that will connect with that, and I still won't even feel the impact because that's a solid steel bumper covered in chrome. So something to think about, for those people who are, looking for a good used vehicle for their young ones. All right. Thank you all again for the comments. Thank you all for the questions. Keep them coming in. I love doing this. This is actually a lot of fun, even though it took a couple of takes to get to this point. Thank you all so much. I guess at this point I'm, same as always, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, get out there and work on a project. I don't care how, what it is. I don't care. Even if it's just tinkering, do something with yourself. If you have a sweetheart, sweep them off their feet. Do something special today for them. Yeah, I know we're getting close to Valentine's Day. Do it anyways. And as always, if nobody has told you that they love you today, Prince Magnum does. God bless you, and have a happy 24. Thank you.
Good night, ladies.